Hello everyone. Today 10th January 2023 and I have taken two questions from Hindu editorial. The first editorial I have taken a mountain reeling under human aggression. So whenever you read the article, try to connect the article with the syllabus. In syllabus we have GS paper 1. Under it we have geography. Under geography we have important topic, critical geographical features around the world including India. So Himalaya is very critical geographical ecosystem. So for paper 1 this article is important. Then we have GS paper 3. Under that we have important topic disaster management. So I can say that this article is important for GS paper 1 as well as GS paper 2. This article is focusing Himalayan ecosystem and growing infrastructure development like Char Dham road project. So this article is highlighting what are the negative consequences we have of this infrastructure development. So when you see this is the Himalaya we have, and this Himalaya is very important for India. Okay, because it is creating natural boundary with China and other multiple region. This Himalaya is important. So why we have to start infrastructure development? Why India is doing too much infrastructure development? Because strategically this region is very important. We have to protect our border from China. So that's why we have to mobilize our resources. So strategically we have to create infrastructure development. For border security we have to create infrastructure development. For mobilization of our forces we have to create infrastructure development. For economic development we have to create infrastructure development. To promote tourism also we have to create infrastructure development. So one aspect we can say that infrastructure development is also important, but this infrastructure development also creating multiple issues. That aspect you have to understand. Like as a civil servant you should know both the aspect, positive also as well as negative also. Then like we have Char Dham Yatra Marg project. So because of like issues is going in the Himalayan region, that's why these topics are coming in your news. So for prelims you should know Char Dham Yatra Marg project, like how road and rail connectivity is going to connect Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Pithoragarh, Tanakpur, Rudraprayag, Rishikesh. All these regions are going to be connected through road and railway. And some basics I have mentioned here, just go through it. Char Dham Highway Developmental Project. Then I have taken the questions here, like highlight the importance of Himalayan ecosystem for India, how Himalayan ecosystem is important for India. Also examine the impact of intrusive anthropogenic activity in the form of massive construction project and global warming upon Himalayan ecosystem. Then you have to frame your answers. So in introduction you can define critical ecosystem of Himalaya, you can give context also. Then in the body you have to mention importance of Himalayan ecosystem. Then second aspect you have talked about significance of infrastructure development, issues, and then way forward. Whenever examine will come, examine in the sense you have to identify positive and the negative, and then you have to give way forward. Here in introduction simply I have defined the significance of Himalayan ecosystem is vital to ecological security of Indian landmass through providing forest cover, feeding perennial river that are source of drinking water, irrigation, hydropower, conserving biodiversity, providing a rich base for high value agriculture, spectacular landscape for sustainable tourism. In one line you can understand how much this region is important for India. Like rivers are there, these rivers are for drinking water, energy, okay, transportations, for beauty, all aspect this region is very important. Then significance of Himalayan river, Himalayan ecosystem, how this ecosystem is important for India. So number one, source of river. Rivers are origin of civilization. Indus Valley civilization, Ganga Valley civilization, Nile civilization. So you can say that rivers are origin of civilization. So that's why India have two important civilization. One is Indus Valley civilization, other is Ganga Valley civilization. So because rivers are providing drinking water, rivers are providing energy, rivers are providing transportation, rivers are a source of irrigation. Okay, so we can see that rivers are origin of civilization. So this Himalayan region have vast snowfield and glaciers. Okay, that's why rivers are perennial like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus, alluvial deposition, because these rivers are bringing sediment. That sediment is very important, very too much fertile. These are important for agriculture. So Great Plain of North India, that aspect you have to remember. Then supporting to energy security. So India is energy deficit country, and somehow we have dependent on import. We are importing oil, and that's why our current account deficit is very high. So we can say that Himalayan region have huge potential to develop the energy. For example, as of now, Himalayan rivers are contributing 33% in thermal electricity and 52% in hydropower. So this potential can be utilized in sustainable way. Then sustaining the monsoon and climate. So we know that India is getting most of the rainfall through southwest monsoon. In southwest monsoon, we have one branch, Arabian branch, another we have Bay of Bengal branch. This both the branches giving rainfall to entire North India, and they are providing rainfall because of this Himalayan region. If Himalayan region is not there, then these branches are not giving rain to North India. And second thing is, we are getting cold wind like Siberian wind. So this Himalaya is protecting India from this cold wind also. Because of that reason, the temperature of India is moderate as compared to other country. Then forest wealth. So Himalaya have huge forest wealth because of multiple biogeographical zone. So we have tropical zone, subtropical, temperate, alpine zone, snow. So we can say that because of Himalaya, India have all type of vegetation, and this vegetation is important for fuel wood and raw material for industry. Then tourism. So Himalaya is like tourist spot, or we can say that scenic beauty and healthy environment. Then now we have to understand other aspect. Other aspect, you have to change the paragraph, then write few line about the infrastructure development, and then you have to mention significance of infrastructure development in Himalaya. One, we can say that is strategic significance. Strategic significance, like we have border dispute with China, as well as we can say that Pakistan. So ensuring border security, quick mobilization of the forces, establishing military command, air or army. So for that purpose, infrastructure is very important, and that responsibility is giving to BRO, Border Road Organization. Then revival of local industry. If we want to revive the local industry without infrastructure, because infrastructure is important for connectivity. Connectivity is providing mobility to economic activity like lumbering industry, horticulture. So all are based on infrastructure development. Then employment generation, promoting tourism, energy security. So all the purpose, I can say that without like promoting tourism, employment generating, income is generating, poverty is going to come down. So we can say that we have multiple significance of infrastructure in this region. What are the issues? So we have multiple challenges also, like unscientific road construction project is going on. So occurrence of landslide in Himalaya. Hill slopes are extremely unsustainable. For example, Char Dham road project is going many critical areas which have negative impact on Himalayan ecosystem. Then construction of tunnel. These tunnels are like providing rail connectivity, road connectivity, but they also have negative impact on micro environment. Railway based on electric engine, so electric locomotion, vibration and negative impact on micro environment. Then irreversible impact upon groundwater, so negative impact upon mountain aquifer, so depleting ground level, erratic rainfall, ecological degradation, land use change for infrastructure, again depleting the aquifer in the Himalayan region. Then you can see like these are the aquifer. So here input and output. If input is less, output is more, they are going to be depleted. Then other challenge, no proper waste management. Like peoples are going in Himalayan region as a tourist and they are dumping lot of waste there. So mountain of garbage and plastic, untreated sewage, unplanned urban growth, air pollution, all are going to be happen because of unplanned tourist activity in Himalayan region. Then climate change again have multiple negative consequences like form of new glaciers lake, and this glacial lake outburst leading to flood. Then what we should do to way forward? In the way forward we can see that environmental impact assessment is very important. So environmental impact assessment means cost benefit analysis. Consider if government is going to construct a hydroelectric project, so we should know like how much electricity we are going to generate or how much damage is going to be happen. If damage is more, we should not start this project. Or road railway construction, if government is going to do, so we have to find the more positive and the negative. Based on positive and the negative, government have to take a initiative. Pan Himalayan strategy, that is again very important. We should not be state specific like Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Uttarakhand or Sikkim. We have to make one plan or region specific plan. So regional natural resources protection like forest cover, water, biodiversity, nature tourism, it has to promote it based on regional approach, not based on state specific approach. Then sustainable infrastructure project, like whenever government is starting the project, you just remember these good word you have to use in your main answers like building design, local ecosystem, seismic fragility, strong regulatory mechanism, all such key point you have to remember. And sustainable hydro project we have to start. Revisiting policy like Sikkim have started organic state, such practices has to be promoted in Jammu Kashmir also, Himachal Pradesh also, Uttarakhand also. Then sustainable tourism we have to promote, minimum impact upon biodiversity, vigilance, regular patrolling, international collaboration. If other country are doing some best practices, that India can also adopt. And then the second article I have taken a step, the step toward fighting corruption. So this article anyway important for your GS paper 2 also in governance topic and GS paper 4 also in poverty in governance. So I am connecting this article in GS paper 4 because this article do not have much point, only analysis is there. You can read the article but you will not get much point. Only thing is just remember Neeraj Datta versus state of that judgment, Supreme Court judgment you have to remember. So here, one aspect you have to remember like governance. In governance, one issue we have corruption. Governance is mentioned in GS paper 2 also and GS paper 4, poverty in governance. So when you are writing an answer in GS paper 2, so how your behavior have to be controlled. Tomorrow you are IS officer. Okay, your behavior has to be as per expectations of the constitution. How your behavior can be controlled through external mechanism and internal mechanism. External mechanism we have moral code of conduct, prevention of corruption act, citizen charter, RTI act, social audit, e-governance, CVC, we have CBI, we have Lokpal. So all are the institutions which are controlling you, how you are utilizing the money. Okay, rather than what we can do, we have to impart certain value within the civil servant like honesty, integrity, compassion, objectivity, dedication to public service. If officers have these values, these things are not needed. So when we talked about corruption in GS paper 4, you have to talk these things, but very minimum. You have to focus these aspects more. So here I have taken the questions like focus on act acts of corruption may mainly be placed before the act by deontologist and after the act by utilitarian. Explain by giving reason. So how corruption can be ended in the governance? So you have to remember these two theory, like deontologist and I can say like deontologist and utilitarian. So here you can define corruption, you can give any case regarding corruption, then you can just simply mention causes of corruption, one diagram for beautification to get half marks extra, and then addressing corruption before the act of deontologist and after the act of utilitarian, and then you have to give the way forward. So here you can start introduction by defining the corruption, or you can give any definition of our philosopher or very great leaders, like great leader like we have APJ Abdul Kalam, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. If a country is to be corruption free and become a nation of beautiful mind, I strongly feel there are three key societal member who can make a difference. They are father, mother and the teacher. So he majorly focus importance of father, importance of mother and importance of teacher. Three important individual or three important persons are making a country. Our country or making of country belong or depend on the father, mother and the teacher. So here honorable late President Abdul Kalam, while terming corruption as a dreadful malady afflicting the society, observed the erosion of conscience and lack of righteousness arises from never ending attitude of greed. So if you want to end the corruption, end the greed among the people. What is needed, that is important, it is not what you want. Then causes of corruption. So some other day I will explain the topic causes of corruption, right? Social, ethical, economic, administrative and political causes of corruption. And then approach to address, how to address the corruption. So I am not going in detail here because of paucity of time. So I am just giving a hint how to write. After writing the introduction, draw one diagram and then write deontologist approach. Deontologist before the act is simple, means that choosing right means. So whenever IS aspirant is taking any decision, his means has to be right. So he has to follow foundational values like honesty, integrity, compassion, okay, tolerance, objectivity, okay, impartiality, non-partnership, okay, dedication to public service. If a civil servant is following all these values, automatically and end. What is end? Utilitarian, choosing right and public good. So automatically public good and the values. Whenever civil servant have values in his own action and keeping in mind the public good, definitely corruption is going to end. Okay, then you have to conclude. So you have to just remember in means deontologist and public good. In and if civil servant is thinking about public good, and in means it is following values honesty, integrity, objectivity, compassion, dedication to public service, okay, impartiality, non-partnership. So automatically corruption is going to be end. So hope you are able to understand. Then time to count. So yesterday already I have discussed about census 2021. So here I have given these notes in my Telegram group, like how the census is conducted according to UN statistics, use of census, significance of census, way forward. So we already covered this topic in yesterday video. Then glimmer of hope. So this article I already covered. Here I have given the point like petitioner demand, like now a constitution bench is going to be conducted and that bench will give the decision. So here we have petitioner argument, government argument and way forward. What is the issue is same sex couple. This same sex couple, they are considered or their marriage is recognized by Special Marriage Act or not. That is the basic argument in front of constitutional bench. So you have to understand Article 13 clause 2. Article 13 clause 2 says that no law can violate fundamental right. So as of now we have Special Marriage Act. This Special Marriage Act is providing a space for couple who cannot do marriage as per personal law. But consider we have opposite sex couple A plus B, one male and female. They can get marriage under Special Marriage Act, but same couple or same sex couple cannot conduct marriage under Special Marriage Act. So it is violation of Article 14, that is equality. It is violation of Article 21, that is right to choose. It is violation of Navtesh Singh judgment and Puttu Swami judgment. So this petitioners has argued that whenever opposite sex, male and female, can get marriage under Special Marriage Act, why same sex couple cannot get? So this is the understanding you have to remember. Now Supreme Court has to going to decide. So hope you are able to understand this particular article also. And then some more article, some data I have given here, just jot down somewhere, like revenue percentage of GDP. So India municipality has only 1%, Africa 6%, and Brazil 7%. So this also just remember, jot down somewhere. This is just not enough. You just read it and try to understand it, and then this is also okay. So hope you are able to understand all the article today. So I have explained like Himalayan ecosystem, then we have explained corruptions also, and other important article. And again, thank you for watching it. And only one request I have: like my video, share my channel to all of your friends.